There you are! I've been looking for you everywhere. This week's coffee comes from Nicaragua. The farm's called Escondida, and funnily enough, it means hidden. So as I've already said, this week's coffee comes from Nicaragua and comes from the farm Escondida. And I'm going to let Virtual Steve tell you a little bit more about the farm. What I'm going to talk about is the Cataí pot. So Cataí is the varietal of this coffee. Cataí is a mix of Yellow Caturra and Mundo Novo, originally founded in the 1950s in Brazil by crossing the two plants. And it has quite a few benefits. It's actually one of the most popular coffee varietals out there. And the main reason for this is it's a dwarf varietal, so it doesn't grow very high. There are a number of reasons you don't want a coffee plant to grow high. First of all, picking. So when you're picking the coffee, you don't want to be kind of reaching up and bending the tree over and distressing it. This means you can put all at the same height and it doesn't get too high. The other reason, and probably the primary reason you want a dwarf varietal, is the wind. So coffee farms are quite often heavily exposed to the wind. What you don't want is the wind blowing them and kind of, you know, like bending them, snapping them, making the fruit come off. Lower to the ground they are, the more stout they are, the less issues they have with those kind of things, which I think is really good. I'm going to hand you over to Virtual Steve now, who's going to go through all of the details and all of the history of the Moresh family and how long we've worked with them and all of that stuff. And when we come back, we'll be doing the tasting in the park. So this week's coffee, La Escondida, is close to Lake Apenas near the city of Jinotega, which is the capital of the department of Jinotega in the north-central region of Nicaragua. The straight translation from Spanish to English of Escondida is hidden. Escondida is called Escondida because the farm is hidden from the road by forest trees, which makes it blend into the mountain. In fact, when the family took over the farm, they had to build a road, and it took them around about 3 months to actually see the land and see what they had in front of them. In the grand scheme of things, the coffee from La Escondida is still really quite young. The trees were planted in 2006, and La Escondida is planned around identifying the lots and working out where everything should sit. It was actually a little bit of a map before anything was planted, was what varietals would go where. The one big upside of this is the soils are virgin soils, and the plants are getting all of the great nutrients and good things through them. The varietal of this lot is Red Cataí, which is selected for the farm as it thought it would do really well with the soil quality, the sun exposure, the temperature range and the wind. This is one of the upsides again of starting a new farm. You can just plan. So the bits that we have here is it's in Nicaragua, it's in the department of Jinotega. The farm is called La Escondida. The farm manager is Bonera Martinez Montenegro. It is 92 manzanas. The altitude goes from 975 to 1,230 metres above sea level. It's Red Cataí and it's washed. Now back to Steve. Okay, so we'll thank you to Virtual Steve for his backup there. Do you know what? I love the fact that in Sweden I can set up a camera like this in the park and there's people walking past. Nobody even looks at me. If I did this in Stafford, I'd have some yobs over here now trying to jump on the camera asking what I'm doing and all the rest of it. It's kind of very chill, although it is a little bit chilly because the wind, as you can see the camera going and it might fall over at any point. So let's get through this quickly. So let's get into the coffee. So like every single Nicaraguan washed coffee that I have had, it primarily is about sweetness. This has like a toffee, like almost like a walnut toffee, like it's a walnut stuck in toffee, gloopy, thick, big. There's very little acidity to this one. It's much more about the sweetness. And on the aftertaste, there's just this delicious dark chocolate that just kind of comes running through it. It is an amazing coffee. This as an espresso will blow your mind. Like, you have to try this coffee as espresso. It actually was used by Gwilym Davies in the 2009 World Barista Championship. So it's one of the coffees that he used in his set because it is such an espresso. Also, this is a Chemex, and as a Chemex, it's tasting amazing as well. Listen, thank you very much for joining me, as always, but do remember, life is too short for bad coffee. And thank God my camera didn't blow over.